Can one lie destroy a friendship?
Long before the rivers changed their course, before the trees of whispering forest rose high enough to touch the clouds, there was a legend, a story carried by the wind, whispered by the leaves, and remembered by the river itself. It was the story of two brothers, not brothers by blood, but brothers by choice. Their names were Bruno and Oliver. Bruno was dark as a storm-filled sky, strong, steady, unshaken. His horns curved like black stone, and his heart was known for its courage. Oliver was white as winter's first snow, proud, fearless, bright as silver water on sunlight. Together, they guarded the valley beside the silver river, not as rulers, but as protectors. Every creature of whispering forest trusted them. The deer felt safe beneath their watch. The rabbits ran freely through the fields. Even the wolves kept their distance. For where Bruno stood, strength followed, and where Oliver stood, courage answered. Side by side, they were unstoppable, and their bond seemed stronger than stone itself. High above the valley, on the oldest oak in the forest, lived Orion, an ancient owl, older than memory itself. His eyes had watched countless seasons pass. He had seen kingdoms rise and kingdoms fall, and he often spoke a warning few understood. The strongest bonds are never broken by force, only by doubt. Beside him sat Mora, a black raven, a traveler of distant lands, a messenger between silence and truth. Together they watched the forest below. And on that day, they felt something change. Across the silver river, beyond the dark pines, stood the Shadow Woods, a place where sunlight struggled to enter. And there lived Grizz, once the greatest hunter the forest had ever known, a tiger feared by all. But time had changed him. His legs had grown weak, his speed had faded, and hunger had become his only companion. Beside him lived Felix, a fox unlike any other. He was not the strongest, nor the fastest, but Felix possessed something far more dangerous. He understood hearts. He understood fear, pride, and the hidden cracks inside trust. One evening, as the sun painted the sky red, Felix watched Bruno and Oliver from the shadows. He saw them laughing, training, standing together, and in that moment he understood. As long as they remained united, they could never be defeated. Grizz's stomach growled. His eyes burned with hunger. "I want them," he said. Felix smiled. "And you shall have them. But first, I must break them." High above, Orion opened his golden eyes. The wind carried Felix's words to him, and Orion knew the poison had begun. The next morning, Felix crossed into the valley. He found Oliver standing alone beside the river. The water was calm, but Felix's words would not be. He approached slowly, carefully, as though carrying a burden too heavy to speak. "I wish I did not have to tell you this," Felix said.
Oliver looked at him, confused. Felix lowered his voice. "Bruno has changed." Oliver frowned. Felix hesitated, as if the truth itself hurt to speak. "He says your heart has grown weak." The words struck Oliver like cold rain. Felix leaned closer. "He says your strength is nothing more than size." Oliver stood still, silent. He wanted to deny it, wanted to laugh, but the seed had already been planted, and seeds of doubt grow quickly. Later that day, Felix found Bruno. This time, his voice carried concern. "Bruno, be careful." Bruno looked at him. Felix sighed. Oliver speaks of replacing you. Bruno's eyes narrowed. Felix moved closer. He says your darkness hides fear. The words cut deep, deeper than Bruno expected, for even the strongest hearts carry quiet insecurities. That night, for the first time in many years, Bruno and Oliver slept apart, and silence settled over the valley, heavy, cold, unfamiliar. Days passed, and with each passing day, the distance between them grew. Billy the goat saw it, Penny the crane felt it, Rex the boar warned them. But pride is a strange thing. It speaks loudly, and it rarely listens. Then came the morning of Iron Bridge, an old wooden crossing over the deepest part of Silver River. Ancient, narrow, unforgiving. The wind was restless that day. The sky was gray, and even the birds had gone silent. Bruno stepped forward. Oliver blocked his path. Neither moved, neither spoke, until finally the anger inside them found its voice. Words turned sharp, accusations followed, old wounds opened, and trust began to break. Beneath them, the bridge groaned, wood creaked, ropes trembled, but neither brother stopped. High above, Orion watched, and in his eyes there was sadness. Then the bridge broke, the world beneath them vanished, and both bulls plunged into the roaring river below. The current was wild, merciless. It pulled them apart, dragged them under, and deep below the dark waters, something ancient waited. Snapper, the river beast, older than the trees, hungrier than winter. His eyes opened, and he rose from the depths. His jaws split the river like thunder. Above the cliffs, Felix smiled. He believed it was over, but the river had other plans. Bruno saw Oliver sinking, and without thinking, he turned back. Oliver saw Snapper rushing toward Bruno, and without hesitation, he charged. In that moment, the anger was gone, the lies were gone, only truth remained, and truth reminded them of who they were, brothers. Together they fought, against the river, against the beast, against death itself, and together they survived. When they reached the shore, broken, bleeding, and breathless, the truth finally found them. Billy, Penny, Rex, Mora, and Orion all stood waiting. And there the lies were revealed. Felix, his poison, his deception, his plan. Bruno lowered his head. Oliver closed his eyes, and both understood the enemy had never been each other. It had always been doubt. But the story was not over, because Felix had returned, and Grizz was with him, this time for the kill. But what they found was not weakness, not division, but unity. Bruno stood beside Oliver, stronger than ever. Behind them stood Billy, Penny, Rex, Mora, and above them, Orion. Felix froze. For the first time, he understood fear. Then Bruno charged, Oliver beside him. Rex thundered behind. The earth shook beneath them. Felix ran, Grizz followed, and the shadow woods swallowed them whole. They were never seen again. And perhaps that is the true lesson of this story. Even the strongest friendship can break, not by force, but by doubt. Bruno and Oliver were powerful enough to face any enemy, yet their greatest danger was not the tiger, not the fox, but the lies they believed. This story reminds us that trust must be protected. Before believing what others say, seek the truth. Before anger takes over, listen.
because real friendship is built on honesty, trust, and communication. And when true friends stand together, no enemy can break them.